months, a year actually, ever since Princess had said yes to Rafael's proposal. Having lived more than half her life with the man of her dreams, yet experiencing some marital nightmares in the process, Ty felt she had viable cause for concern. "Getting your beauty sleep, I see," she said upon entering. "No, I've been awake for a while." Ty walked to where her daughter lounged in her canopied bed, the one they'd purchased together when Princess was 13 years old. It never failed to warm Ty's heart every time Princess returned to the bedroom that remained largely unchanged from how it had looked 5 years ago, when Princess left home for UCLA. Ty and King had discussed various uses for the unoccupied space: an exercise, theater, or storage room, or an office for Ty. But these ideas somehow never went beyond the thinking phase. In everyone's mind, this was still Princess's room. But not for long, Ty thought as she sat down on the bed. Her baby was getting ready to take a pivotal step. She was getting ready to become someone's wife, and this was the last night Princess would spend in this room as a single woman. A Stylistics classic song popped into her mind. Yes, she was a big girl now, and after looking into her daughter's strained expression and tired eyes, it appeared as if grown folks' pleasure was equaling grown folks' pain. "How are you doing, baby?" "Fine." Ty gave Princess a look. "Girl, have you forgotten who you're talking to? You're 2 days away from taking the biggest step of your life. There's no way you're fine." Princess laughed, hoping that the sound covered the pit of fear that had gripped her stomach ever since she'd had the dream. "You're right, but I'm trying to stay calm and not freak out. I was just on the phone with Sarah, giving her the details about the rehearsal dinner. And everything. And those details included something being awful, followed by an exasperated-sounding "I don't know." Of course, Ty didn't voice these thoughts. It wouldn't help for her daughter to know that she'd been standing at the door a few seconds before knocking, and had heard snippets of a conversation that confirmed the discomforting feelings concerning the upcoming marriage that she too had felt. "Did you feel better after talking to Sarah?" "I always feel good after talking to her." An unlikely pair, the years older Princess had befriended Sarah Kurtz during Sarah's first year of college at UCLA. Like King, Sarah's father, Jack Kurtz, was also a well-known minister, and her stepmother, Millicent Sims Kurtz, who'd once been an integral part of her Uncle Derek's church, was now very active in her husband's ministry. The two women had instantly related on what it meant to be a preacher's daughter. Ty nodded her understanding, but decided it was time to get to the point of her visit. "Princess, I know we've talked about this, but our last conversation about your upcoming nuptials left me feeling uncomfortable. I know you love Rafael, but I want to make sure you're totally at peace with this decision to marry him." "Dang, Mama. I wish I'd never even asked about you and Daddy." "I know, but I'm glad you did. And I don't mean to be a nagging mother or a broken record, but if you have any reservations, Princess, any doubts at all about your being able to stay in this marriage for the long term, then you'd be doing Rafael a disservice by saying I do." "Don't worry, Mama. I don't want to back out." She tried to lighten the mood. "And even if I did, it's too late now. I'm not even trying to return 500 gifts and refund people for money spent on plane tickets and hotel rooms." Ty didn't get the joke. "Really, Mama, you need to chill. And you need to listen. At the end of the day, the gifts, flowers, dress, guests, none of that matters as much as this vow you're getting ready to take for the rest of your life. I know that nowadays divorce is as common as the cold, but I've tried to live my life as an example that marriage is an institution to be honored, and that those vows are not to be said or taken lightly." Ty paused, remembering the words that her own mother had told a then 19-year-old, 6 months pregnant Ty, who was getting ready to walk down the makeshift aisle in her grandmother's flower-filled backyard. "It ain't too late, baby," her mother had whispered, filled with doubt as to whether her soon-to-be son-in-law, King Wesley Brook, could curb his whorish ways and be satisfied with and faithful to her daughter. But Ty, blinded by love and encouraged by the foot of her oldest son Michael kicking her in the side, had taken her father's arm and walked into the holy matrimony that, at times, had been a holy mess.